Hey, good morning. It's a beautiful November day here in South Carolina. It's going to be in the 70s. So we're going to go down and check out the Wedgefield Plantation, which is now the Wedgefield Golf Course. On Sundays, they offer a lunch for $12. In that lunch, you get a fixed menu of 1 meat, 3 sides, and dessert, all for $12. If you want to pay just $10, you get the same thing, except you only get 2 sides. So we're going to check that out. Are you ready?
I'm ready, but we're not just going for the food.
We're not?
No, we're going to check out the legend of the Headless Soldier that wanders at Plantation and see what it's all about.
You're right. No, I heard that Headless Soldier's been wandering that area since the time of the Revolutionary War. That's a long time. So let's find out what it's all about. Are you ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right, let's go.
Hey now, take a step outside and seize the day now.
To get to the Wedgefield Golf Course, head south on 17 to Georgetown, South Carolina. Georgetown is about 30 miles south of Myrtle Beach. Once in Georgetown, hang a sharp right onto 701. Within a few miles, make a right onto Wedgefield Road. Follow Wedgefield Road for about 2 miles and you will arrive. The Wedgefield Plantation is now a golf course that is open to the public. Follow signs to the old Manor House, which is now the restaurant. As you make your way, you'll be surrounded by live oak trees with Spanish moss, which are over 200 years old and date back to the time when the Wedgefield was an active rice plantation. In the 17 and 1800s, rice was king in South Carolina and provided a livelihood for the landowners. There were many plantations that ran from Murrells Inlet all the way down to Charleston. The Wedgefield Plantation was established in 1762 and used the water from the adjacent Black River to grow rice. After the Civil War, rice production in South Carolina declined because of the loss of slavery. The property changed hands over the years, and in the 1970s it became a residential and golf community. And that's what you find here today. Well, it's time for lunch. Because of COVID, we asked to sit outside. So we're able to sit on the outside patio, which is great. Nobody here, few tables, and with a great view.
I put my order in. I'm getting a meatloaf, rice and gravy, lima beans and the squash, and for dessert, chocolate delight. And look we have this whole place to ourselves out here.
And that's all for $12. You can't beat that. So we'll see how it tastes and decide, but it's worth it just for the view. And the nice weather, right? What's it in the 70s?
77.
77, can't beat it. The food was not gourmet, but it was good and included dessert. The Manor House where we had lunch was built in the early 1900s on the site of the original plantation home. It not only offers lunch and dinner, but it also hosts wedding receptions. We're going to drive into Georgetown to work off that meal, walk around the town and take a look. But before we do that,
Let's hear about the legend of the ghost of the Headless Soldier.
the story begins back in the time of the American Revolution, when General Francis Marion, better known as the Swamp Fox, was fighting against British troops for American independence. The owner of the Wedgefield Plantation was pro-British, but his daughter was pro-American and often gave information to General Marion about the British troops to help him with his battles. The daughter and General Marion exchanged information by leaving notes behind the gravestones found at the cemetery at Prince George Church. The daughter found out that the British troops were holding American prisoners at her father's Wedgefield Plantation. She left a note behind a gravestone telling General Marion when it was the best time to come to the plantation to free the prisoners. With that information, General Marion rounded up his men and headed to the Wedgefield Plantation. Upon arrival, a British soldier who was standing guard pulled his pistol, but one of General Marion's men took his sword and cut off his head. The British soldier staggered until he fell to the ground. The prisoners were freed and taken back to camp, but the gruesome sight of the headless man was burned in their memories. Since that time, often during a full moon, the ghost of the headless British soldier is seen wandering the plantation looking for his head. Before he appears, the sound of approaching horses or rattling chains can be heard off in the distance.
That was quite a spooky tale.
It certainly was. Now let's walk off our lunch. After walking through the downtown of Georgetown, we headed up Broad Street to take a look at the historic homes. These homes were built back in the 1700s. This was the home of the mayor back in 1891. It was a great day out. Until next time, safe travels.